we will continue our discussion for system design and its economics. है ना? Yesterday night for our automation and sensor lab, we got one good news. This patent has been awarded finally after 3 years. We filed in March 2021. Article was published in 2021 April. Then some phase of examination were going on 2022. Next examination 24. This January itself beginning. It is yet January, है ना? So it's January 2024. Not the part of reliability engineering. Okay. So here we see these points. System design economics we discuss. So here are the different aspects. Okay. So what is our purpose? In order to enhance the availability. Okay. In order to increase the reliability of a component or system, thereby in order to increase its availability. And obviously remember, when we say availability, so by default I am talking about active mode. ठीक है ना? Because in active mode I can utilize these resources effectively. So, okay. So whenever we say, even maintenance period is also not the part of availability. Okay. Maintenance period and operation both are the part of reliability, but maintenance is not the part of availability. So you can say that availability is the subdomain of reliability. Or in other words, I can say that I want to reduce the hazard rate. Okay. So if it is less hazardous from the design stage at the time of manufacturing, if we can ensure, obviously the chances of failure will also reduce. Isn't it? So depending on some distribution function, okay, or a given distribution function that shows, that reflects the characteristic of a device or a component. And obviously when we say characteristic, every characteristic of system or component, okay, possesses its optimal performance during a particular range of time or during a particular range of frequency. That means your bandwidth along with your Q factor. Okay, so these are the points we have been considered for our discussion purpose. Correct? Now, next is we try to identify certain parameters. How do I know? So, one issue yesterday we discussed, that is the fault isolation. Again, I am repeating that self-diagnosis is not the synonyms of a fault isolation, but obviously it is a part of, probably can be treated as the best possible combination of a fault to isolate a fault. Okay? So obviously you want to isolate a fault during the run mode, or you want to ensure it at the design stage. So one approach, which is trial and error, is the manual mode. Then the next, what you can go, that for automatic mode, that is what we discussed yesterday. And then finally, the most prominent or the most effective is the self-diagnosis pattern, where the system is designed and equipped with enough technology and along with the authority. Obviously, remember that whenever a system or component is working on self-diagnosis mode, it is by default in auto mode. Okay, auto mode or maybe semi-auto mode. Correct? Take an example of your laptops. Sometimes it gives you default message if the original, assuming that your software is, your device is loaded with all the licensed softwares. So the manufacturer has already make sure. Okay, when they establish a firmware, they also follow certain protocol. Okay, those software's job is only to time check the effectiveness of that particular device, and also to avoid any possible outside or external threat. Okay, so for example, your antivirus is loaded on your device, on your smart device, is an example of this, isn't it? So it automatically rotates now, and it asks you for permission that each time you want me to give a manual permission, then I will go on, or shall I go on? Okay, and inform you whenever the action shall be taken. Nowadays we are following this pattern. Earlier is that was, so that is what. Okay, so each self-diagnosis module, okay, is able. So here you capable that it always comes with bit or BIT. Yes, pattern. Okay, bit means built-in test features. Okay, or built-in test equipment. More or less same. Okay, some people write this, some people write this. Normally, the US may they write this, German may they write this. It's ultimately the same. Okay. Part standardization and interchangeability. This is what we discussed to involve or reduce the minimum range of parts that you need to store in your warehouse to provide the effective service. Service here means, let's say yesterday we take an example that if you take a workshop of automobile, so then they are providing us service. If it is a plant, then you cannot say it is a service. It is a part of the same entity. So obviously in that case your maintenance team is trying to ensure that if some malfunction happens suddenly and they have to undergo through the replacement or the repair of that particular component in the streamline or in the assembly line or in the mill somewhere, they should effectively need minimum amount of time. Now you have two things. One, you should have a technical ability and expertise to solve that, to identify that malfunction and give a permanent solution. Number two, if at all repair is not possible and the replacement has to be done, then once the replacement of the product should be available in your store or in your warehouse, right? You cannot each time order that, wait for the delivery and then you will start action. That's bad idea. Yeah? That is what you call part standardization and interchangeability. Okay? Modularization. This is something we discussed yesterday. We take an example of your black box, okay, or any such example. But remember, here important thing is this. Here, so you can modularize. Okay, you can modularize a device. Yesterday we take an example. Let's say there are a product A and product B of the similar kind of features made by two different Mac. Okay, Mac A and Mac B. And Mac A and Mac B both introduce the similar kind of products. Mac A designed that particular product in a modular approach. So that means when the construction will happen, when the fabrication will happen, in that case, the product will first form a sub-assembled line. So in sub-assembled line, the whole product was divided because both has a nearly 250 components to establish that whole a complete product or a complete package, you can say. So in case A, we have taken that out of which there are the 50, 100 components, and it is segmented. The entire device is or product is segmented into three modules, module A, B, C. On the other hand, Mac B doesn't take care of that thing, and he also manufactures the same product with the similar kind of performance. Again, it is a combination of nearly same number of components or same number of parts. Now what will happen if some malfunction occur, or if you need to identify the troublesome part, okay, or where the fault occur, or which particular device is affected, and even though let's say you have identified, what is the next step? You have to correct it. Now if the device is not in modular approach, what will happen? You have to pick the entire gadget there itself, you have to go through the under maintenance stage, and that particular time you cannot do any other task. In the modular approach, what you can do, that if the problem was effectively identified with module B, which is a combination of 100 elements or 100 components, so I can separate module B out of the total device or component. Now my identification part, my maintenance part, my repair part can be even faster. Okay. On the other hand, because module A and module C are ineffective, so you can do any additional regular checkup work also. Worst case scenario, let's say you cannot repair it. Now what will happen? In case of Mac B, because it is not manufactured in modular approach, so whole the product will be stand still there until unless some replacement will not come and you are not going to repair it, right? In case of Mac A, what will happen? Can you use it? No. But in that case, I can only order the portion of module B because there is a problem with the module B, or maybe because module B is my major subsection. Out of those sections, there are certain subparts. So I can simply replace that subpart. So now you see that your repair cost will also relatively lesser. Okay, repair period will be effectively less. Okay, so that is the problem, but advantage what you will get whenever you are going to manufacture. Okay, a product in a modular approach, and modular approach means ultimately you have assembled in modular approach. Okay, that is the benefit. So it increases the accessibility of the particular product. So this lambda NT is nothing but it is representing the overall mean of the module repair time. What is T? The total amount of time needed to repair. Needed to repair, in the worst case, if at all is not possible to repair, so replace it. Okay? Because remember, if you are the owner of that vehicle, in anywhere vehicle is in your workshop. So it is not in your hand. Okay? So I will consider this T when I handed over to the workshop, company workshop, and on what date and time I receive it back. Right? So I cannot ignore this. If it is unrepairable, then resupply. So this is the total time. What are the number of modules? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is that? And then lambda is as usual represents lambda T. Remember, for the brief I have written here, it is always a component of time. It's lambda T. Okay? So this is what the modular approach and accessibility. Now, as we discussed that in some case maybe repair could not be possible. Okay. Now the repair and replacement both will work in tandem, and obviously whenever the repair and replacement work is there, it's again not okay. Some possible cost is always involved with it. Yes or no? Okay. So in that particular case, as far as that particular distribution function of is concerned, it is again f of t. So distribution function with respect to cost, if you are going to draw a pattern, we typically got this decaying exponential function. Okay. So this is what it is called the repair period. This dash line is actually representing the threshold point beyond which the things cannot be repairable. So obviously you are going to discard it. Okay. Now at what time you can discard it, you can identify by this standard formulation where k is a some constant and Vr is what? Break-even point to repair. Okay. Vd is break-even point to discard. Okay. D for discard, C R for repair. Okay. So what is the break-even time or point to repair? What is the break-even point or time to discard? The difference of 2 upon 1 minus k is some constant. Okay, so I am not doing that here. So you see, this is okay. The whole system is. What is the highest level? Systems. What is the lowest level? Parts. So certain number of parts in any device or in any system. Okay, whether it is a plant, whether it is a commercial product, okay, some number of parts they come together to establish a subcomponent, right? So can I say that an integrated circuit is a subcomponent at some level, because ultimately the base material is number of transistors, okay? And on the other hand, if you wanted to use a diode, so obviously you have to short one of the terminal. Here, isn't it? Which one is easier to manufacture? Transistor fabricate. We are not manufacturing, I would say fabricate. Transistor or diode? Theoretically, we studies that diode has a 2 terminal, transistor has a 3 terminals. It doesn't matter FET or BJT, 3 terminals, right? Now, which one is easy to manufacture? Diode? Investigate it. Okay? It's a by default transistor. It's always less costly. So commercially, whenever we try to manufacture a diode, we basically short another terminals. So it will be treated as a silicon. Okay. So sometimes theory doesn't tell you the things what we actually adopt in practice. So that is the subcomponent. Then these certain components, again the combination of components will form a complete component. That's complete component is a part of sub-assembly lines, because in an assembly line there are many components are participating to pursue a task. Okay, and their purpose of this sub-assembly and assemblies are to ultimately manufacture a component. Okay, a fully integrated component, or I would say that a system. Okay, fully integrated component or system is one and all the same thing, so don't be confused about that. Okay, so this is the sub-assemblies, then the assemblies, and then finally you can say assembly, or you can write interfacing, okay, or you can write adjoining. So then you are going to form a system. Okay, the highest level, level 0, lowest level, level 5. You can represent in a different way. You can take it this as a level 5, this as a level 0, it's up to you. But these are the standard nomenclature we use as far as the system reliability is concerned. Okay. Proactive maintenance. Now, yesterday we talked about this. You will find two terms, basically the predictive maintenance and preventive and predictive. Are they same? Ultimately, it has decided that you have to undergo through the standard maintenance procedure as far as that device is concerned to increase its effective longevity, okay, or to its usability, to or its availability in its useful lifetime period. Why it is important? Ultimate goal. What is your ultimate goal? This was the standard nomenclature. What I want to do, this is something I cannot deal because this is my minimum threshold. I got the ownership from this point. Can I somehow increase this period? So rather than this, if I can go like this, isn't it a better? Or like this? Are you getting my point? If this is the upper limit, you cannot cross. There is a less than 1% probability. Out of 1000 components, one may last. Okay? But if this is the upper limit, so obviously around this limit it will definitely fail. Again, depending on that, how good you are in handling or mishandling. But can you change this feature? If I can go for this, so obviously it is providing me this additional. Here I increase my useful life, and then because of the rate of change, suddenly it will disappear or will discard. Okay? Now, what is preventive? What is predictive? That is a function. This is the intensity function of a non-homogeneous, and for our placement, because it is a non-homogeneous, so we are taking Paulson's equations. Okay? Paulson's equation, Paulson's process, whatever you call. Okay? So that you know that distribution function. Okay? So that we are referring it. So this is the intensity function of that particular product, which is deciding that at what rate it will be available to me. E stands for expectation. Okay? As good as me of the availability. Okay? In probably communication engineering, you might have studied this terms. Expectation of the availability of the product. But what is this? Preventive and predictive. Are they same? Both are the part of proactive maintenance. Okay? See, here we write down proactive. That means as per the maintenance schedule, proactive doesn't mean that I am trying to interfere in your active mode of operation. No. During the active mode of operation, there are the guidelines that after these many hours or period, this particular component is required of service maintenance. Right? So if I can follow those guidelines, okay, that means as good as that if I am very active for the proactive maintenance, I can increase the longevity or the availability of the product or of the system in its useful life period. So if during the useful life period, if I can enhance the probability of the availability of that particular system. That means as good as I am trying to reduce the chances of failure, lambda t hazard rate of that particular product within the same useful life period. So that means your rate of change, lambda t or ft, your failure rate is again trying to flatten, more flatten. So it is again, this lambda t is tending to 0. It is earlier also tending to 0, but now the rate of change is even slower. Okay, so that is what your motto is. So we will come across two terms, preventive and predictive. What the term preventive says, if you follow the standard practice, how can you prevent that particular failure, okay, before your component is going to experience a failure? Can you prevent it? Simple. Predictive means you are following that MTTF scale or MTBF scale, mean time between failure or mean time to failure of the product is already known to you. You know that if I am not going to follow this proactive maintenance, then after this many of period, my component or one of the components, some fragile component, some soft components of my entire system may lead towards the failure or some catastrophic failure. Okay, if some component fail, ultimately it will lead to catastrophic failure of the whole system. Okay, so in those cases I can avoid. So you remember two things. One case you are trying to reduce the chances of failure. Chances of failure means the frequencies of a failure. Okay, so remember here, frequency of failure is not that system is not in that condition that you need to discard it, but probably you have to repair it. Remember, in the repair again it will take more time. Understand now? So if my system is not right now is healthy, didn't face any problem for last 6 months, but my automobile make has already advised me that sir, just send your vehicle in every 6 months. Somebody asked for 1 year, somebody asked for 6 months. They have their own cycle. Okay. So if I will simply send that particular vehicle, obviously it will cost me a little bit, but they will make sure that if everything is optimally working or not, because I know there are certain features or certain characteristics what I cannot identify physically from the outside. Okay, but their self-diagnosis equipment is in position to identify. So they will inbuild those threads, they will check it, the health of the different components of the device of that particular vehicle. Okay, if nothing has happened, they will return back to me on the definitely on the same day with obviously minimum amount of their standard bill along with GST. Right? I have not taken care of those things. Now what will happen? Some component, those are fragile in nature, relatively as compared to other component. Do you think that the engine will fail very suddenly? No. But there are certain sub-components. Okay? I need to replace the filters. There are many filters. There are air conditioning filters. There are the filters which is passing through that fuel. Okay? But if I am not taking care, what will happen? Okay? So some components may fail. Ultimately, in that case, if I have not taken care, so that means I have to go for the replacement. Understand now? I have to go for the first of all repair. If repair is not possible, then it will lead to the replacement. Ultimately, it has increased the cost of work. It seems like that after 1.5 years I spent some money, but if you will calculate the period of those 3 cycles of 6 months every cycle, you add the cost. Okay, your proactive maintenance is always lesser costly as compared to the overall repair period or the replacement period. Here I said period including the cost. Understand? So one is actually helping you to identify the frequency of failure, chances of failure. Another is informing is that what is needed to be done to evaluate to avoid the failure. Okay, in one case you are trying to predict it, that is the part of predictive maintenance. In one case you are trying to avoid the frequency of failure. See, if you are trying to avoid the frequency of failure, if you have ensured, let's say that rather than these 5 maintenance cycle, earlier yesterday we have seen, okay, I can go for a 4 maintenance cycle. How did you? One part was that yesterday we discussed. Another, how did I able to avoid 1 maintenance period, which is roughly ensuring that 20% increased availability in operational mode, only if the possibility of failure is undergone. It's gone down, right? It's not that possible that possibility of failure is increasing. Still, I am increasing the maintenance period between two maintenance cycles. That is not possible. No? If the maintenance period is increased, that means during that additional enhanced period, we also already made sure that there will be nearly no failure, right? Then and only we have enhanced it. No? So that is what is happening. The frequency of failure. In one case, you are trying to prevent it. In one case, you are trying to predict. Both are the part of proactive maintenance. Clear? These are the different standard functions we will keep on using under the head of module number 1, 2 and 3. We already talked about constant failure rate. What is the reason that why it is called time independent? Yesterday we have seen. It is a feature of randomness. Why it is the randomness that we have discussed. What is the part of your time independence? Why it is time independent? Is actually lambda t. Yesterday, as I have been discussed with you, that this failure rate is nearly flat. Isn't it? This failure rate is nearly flat, but it is not zero. So, because this lambda with t is tending to 0, so we consider it absolute flat. So if it is absolute flat, so that means the probability of failure at this point of time is the same of the probability of failure at this point of time. Isn't it? That is your lambda t, this is your time. The probability of failure here is also same. The probability of failure here is also same. But in this case, probability of failure is high. In the earlier case, probability of failure at the time of manufacturing is highest. Then as you have kept on manufacturing it, that is decreasing. Once you enter into a useful life period, it is nearly constant. So because it is nearly constant, that's why we say that it is time independent. Got it? Okay. So constant failure. Example, can I take a exponential distribution function as a part of this? Right? Okay. What about time dependent? The distribution function which is helping you to identify the reliability or the failure probability of that particular product during the increment failure, decrement failure rate and increment failure. These two zones. These are two critical points, remember, right? DFR and IFR. If any distribution function is able to entertain one of these or both, is basically a time dependent function. Is a time dependent function because this characteristic is changing with time. This characteristic is changing with time. So, Weibull distribution is a part of your time dependent model, time dependent failure model. This is why it is a very, very vital model, especially for the design engineers. This is what it is. Clear? Any doubt? So, as we have discussed this point also in the brief under the head of lecture 1, that is the module 1, if lambda t is the hazard rate of a function, so it is going to be defined by two abbreviation a t times b. Okay? A into t raised to b, where this hazard rate is definitely going to increase if both a and b are greater than 0. You can just check. Say a is equal to 1, b is equal to 1. So hazard rate is with time. So with time means you are basically getting a graded function, no? Graded function, no? Isn't it? Okay. A ramp function. But if it is t raised to 2, a is equal to 1, but b is not 2. T raised to 2. So rate of failure is parabolically increasing. T raised to 3. Then if a is increasing, it's a magnitude. It's a magnitude. So it will also increase further. It's as good as like, it's not an amplification, but it is trying to amplify that performance. Which performance? Rate of failure. Now because it is rate of failure, in any case it is a bad news for you. Doesn't matter whether a is 1 or 2. Yes, but if b is less than 0, now you check. Doesn't matter what is a, because A is ultimately representing some strength of the signal, magnitude of the signal, magnitude of the probability that ensures or that states the rate of failure. Tough only the I use so many terms. Okay, I said that probability of rate of failure. Okay, what are the probability that the function is going to fail? Function is going to fail, that ensures definitely that your system will fail for sure. Okay, so A may be greater than 0, but B should be less than 0. If B is less than 0, so basically I am getting a negative function. Okay, isn't it? T raised to minus 0.1 better than T raised to 1. T raised to minus 1 is even better. T raised to minus 2 is even better. Okay, so probability of failure you are reducing exponentially. Okay, if it is so can I define my hazard function? Okay, probability density function, that is minus dr by dt. Because it is a failure, so that's why it comes with negative, remember, right? Okay, this function is positive in terms of df by dt, in terms of reliability is negative, because if reliability is positive, if reliability is very high, then your distribution function that dictates the possibility of failure should be very low. So should be negative, remember, no? So don't be confused why it is minus and why it is plus. Okay, because these two are following the pattern, distribution function and the rate of failure function. Okay, the rate of reliability is opposite. So in this case, I will take minus RT is already known. In case of now, what is this statement? What is this statement? If this function, reliability function, in case of Weibull distribution function, okay, we have taken RT is equal to e raised to minus lambda t.
So it is minus t by theta to the power beta.
T by theta raised to beta. है ना? So take the dr by dt of this. Okay. Now you need the C. Okay. So how many parameters other than time? One is shape parameter, one is scale parameter. So what kind of Weibull distribution it is? Two parameter Weibull distribution function. If one parameter is changing, remember time is itself changing. That is an independent function. है ना? This beta is can also change, theta can also change. Okay? So one is deciding the shape. So shape means rate of change. It will definitely change. I cannot do anything. That is the beta. Theta is basically the scale. So scale means duration. Now this is something I can keep constant. Once I can ensure the theta at the design stage. Now theta can be less, can be relatively high. Can I expand theta? Okay. For example, I have a skilled person to test the packaging of that particular mobile phone. Now packaging is the last stage, but it is extremely vital because any end user is going to handle this particular device in package mode. Right? It is a completely packaged. No? So almost it requires, you will probably surprise that the company is going to make profit as well as the overall operational cost to make any finished fabricated device, nearly 2/3 cost involves in packaging. Sometimes. Get it? Up to 2/3 of the total cost goes. Okay? Obviously this I include their profit, their service and XYZ whatever offers they are providing. Because if it cost me 15,000, that means that is my operation. You know? That is the cost where I got. Okay? So nearly 8 to 10,000 rupees they charge you just because of this packaging and to ensure the higher availability of that particular product. So they will package in that way. It's a highly specialized area. Okay? Highly specialized area. So on those stages it will help you to identify. Okay? So can I package in a way that my theta is not compressed, rather it is more expanded. So it will again ensure the higher availability or to increase the longevity of the availability of a product during its useful life period. Okay, so critical part. Second, normal distribution function. This probably you have used number of times since your school age times. So this is the same. Ultimately, you have to ultimately identify this plus minus 3 dB point, because these are the two cutoff points. If your system, if your component is designed or is manufactured, the characteristic of a normal distribution function, it's not a pure uniform function. Uniform is something different. So normal distribution says that it has been by mistake reached to 0. We know that it can never be reached to 0, right? So please be taken care of this during the talk. So it will be something like this. Not 0. It cannot be 0 because then it will take infinite time. Okay. If you are tending to 0, that means your delta t is tending to infinite. So that is not acceptable at all. Okay. So this plus minus 3 dB point is actually decides the real or availability of this particular component. If system is designed on this pattern, so what is my useful life period? What is my useful life period? It is delta t, isn't it? Because below this point, it is providing me less than 50% power. Above this point, plus 3 dB point, okay? Sorry, this is plus 3 dB, this is minus 3 dB point. So below this point, it is again providing me less than 50% power. That is not acceptable to me, isn't it? What is it? If this is a voltage function, let's say this is V max, no? Isn't it? So it is V max by root 2. Power calculate करूँगा तो square of this. I am not bothering about resistance. So it's V square by something. So that means at this point it will be, I can get 50% power. Below this, not acceptable. You applied your empathy theorem, remember? So this is what the characteristic. If your system is following this model. So this is actually your useful life period. Now you want to increase the useful life period. What happened? What happened? You have to compromise. Remember that A e raised to B, you have to compromise with A. Magnitude of availability. ठीक है ना? तुमको यहाँ से compromise करना पड़ेगा. So if you can compromise with this, so what will happen? I can increase this period, this. So rate of change I can slow down. If rate of change slow down, so what will happen? The window will be more flat. है ना? More flatten होगा तो rate of change slow होगा तो क्या होगा? Minus 30 dB point will experience later from the mean point, from the mean point. है ना? So I can increase as good as my bandwidth. Understand? You remember ना? Similar function we draw with frequency also. है ना? Here remember it's a time scale. But pattern is here for your understanding. Okay? Because here I want to ensure in terms of availability, what is my availability period? Okay, you want to calculate delta, no doubt, take it 1 by 2. You will get this data. Okay. So where you follow this? So normally whenever you want to find or deal with some stochastic process, random process, okay, non-periodic process. Here is mentioned signal. It can be a process, it can be a signal, it can be any function. Okay? Function can be a signal, can be a process. Okay. For a limited period. Why limited period? Okay, this is not advising me to go beyond. I can go, but it is not advisable. Okay, I will introduce more troubles. This is the same function. Okay? Time is your independent function, mu and sigma, you can deal with. Fine. Where I can use to deal with those random signals or non-causal functions. Okay. Whenever during the design stage we have identified that the function is okay, but the characteristic is also experiencing in terms of a non-causal function. Non-causal function, or it is a non-causal system, or if you talk about components, component is a non-causal component. Can I use it? Examples? Baba? This is time. फंक्शन है ना, प्रोबेबिलिटी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन फंक्शन, ठीक है। नाउ लेट्स से दिस टाइम t is equal to 0 है ना। So these are the minus t, these are the future values, yes or no, plus t, these are the past values, नहीं है पकड़ कि रिवर्स। You have given some input at time t is equal to 0. Reverse. So let's say we will take a battery. Voltage is VT. Theoretical network put the. Here is a switch. You close the switch at time t is equal to 0. So it will ensure the availability of a supply. ठीक है। now my load can be this resistance, can be this inductance, don't bother about it, है ना। this is Vi, this is Vi, isn't it? So circuit will work only if the switch is closed, so it will complete the path, है ना। so what if I will get the output at time t is equal to 0? best possible condition, can I get it before? at time t is equal to 0 you are energizing your device, है ना। my mobile is completely discharged, ठीक है। now I have started charging it, so now time t is equal to 0 I start charging it, but my mobile is still responding before charging, नहीं possible है ना, energy चाहिए ना। so you will respond after you will get the energy, नहीं, okay। now the hostel का survive करना easy है, without food you can live, नहीं। so you are getting your response at time t is equal to 0, that is the best possible condition। so at this point you have given input, at this point you have given get your output, ठीक है ना, okay। now practically not possible, practical कौन होगा, I will get always response after some definite period, so if I am getting after some definite period, that is positive or negative, positive। so at time t is equal to 0 I invested, at time t is equal to 1 I will get my output, now that is practically possible, this is not possible, है ना। now this scale can be millisecond, can be microsecond, some units, days, years, I don't know, depending on the type of device, yes na, this is what is happening na। can I get my output before investing the input, like we discussed, this is before na, if you can get it, that means you know the future, what you will get it, so negative scale is future, positive scale is past, 0 is present, है ना। इसीलिए बड़े बड़े ऋषि मुनि क्या बोलते हैं, प्रेजेंट में चाहिए, because that is the most idealistic condition what you can have, ठीक है, okay। so today Baba Gyan may help you to explain, understand the philosophy using a circuit, okay। come down to our discussion now, if at all possible that I am getting this function, now is it practically realizable that I can get response before investing the input? No, so this is called your what, this is called your this part, this domain, what is it, non causal, if it is a function it is a function, it is a system it is a system, it is a component it is a component, if it is signal it is a signal, understand, because is it practically possible, answer is no, answer is no na, so can it be realizable, no, realizable है ना। so if something is cannot be realizable, cannot be usable, that will never be in position to be used, okay, getting my point। now take a proper example, let's say you are getting a sine wave like this, Now it's a scale. Understand? Now you want to use this. This part is t is equal to 0. So this is negative. This part is positive. With time I am talking. Right now I am observing the time. Or take it. Understood? Okay. Now if this is t is equal to 0, I also want to use this part. Yes? And what should I do? Practically I said that this point is t is equal to 0. This point is t is equal to 0. So something before I cannot use, something after I can use. So what should I do? To use it as a whole, what should I do? I will take a, do I have a shifting property? Possible as a shifting function? If I know that this period is 5 units, can I shift by 5 units? Possible? So what will happen? It will shifted by t minus 5. That's all. Now the whole function will be shifted to here. Now can I even do the multiple part? Yes. Okay. So is it possible to shift from a non-causal to causal? Yes, you can. Understand? So whenever such situation comes, use normal distribution function. Okay? Or during the design stage, to analyze that the system or component or a function or a signal should be causal at the time of using it, then utilize this distribution function to do the necessary job at the design and during the design and manufacturing stage. Okay? ये उसका यूज होगा. ठीक? So mathematics is necessary for engineering. ठीक है? Problem with those your mathematics faculty is that most of the time they are not equipped with the applications. They kept on teaching mathematics, and you people kept on thinking that again inter-science 2 years of mathematics, again here doing mathematics. What these people are doing? I came here to become an engineer. They are teaching mathematics, physics. ओके अब इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियर बनोगे तुमको इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक्स तो पढ़ना पड़ेगा बाबा. ठीक? चलो. Okay, so with the help of you are aware already with central limit theorem, so you can use the central limit theorem to shift the shape and position of a function and to make it usable, to make it completely causal. ठीक है? So completely, if a function is completely causal, that means it is available for your during the life, its life cycle period, it is available for whole function. Even your own normal distribution function itself will be divided. Now you again say this is t is equal to 0. If I will draw like this, can I choose this portion? Answer is no. Answer is no, because I am investing my input here at time t is equal to 0. If t is equal to 0 here, then okay. But if somehow the function is this, so what I need to do? Wherever my t component is, I will replace. I will come to know that okay, what is my this minimum threshold? What is minus plus 3 dB point? So if plus 3 dB point is t dash, so shift the whole function. Wherever t is there, it will be shifted by t minus t dash. Jump out. If it is so, it will shift this whole function to here. Now no problem. Is it needed to shift this part even? Not necessary. I can reshift like this. Because मेरे को तो क्या चाहिए? Plus 3 dB point should go into the positive scale. That's all. ठीक है? Log down. Done? Okay. So we will discuss in the next class. There are certain components. Okay. And fine. Next class we will discuss. This is one example. Small case study is given. If the time permits, you will see. Otherwise, I will discuss. Thank you.